Hey everybody. So in honor of silver hitting $100 an ounce today in January 2026, I just wanted to take a chance to show off my silver bullion collection. I don't really focus on bullion anymore. I kind of prefer historical coins. I just don't find modern coinage that interesting. But given that this entire tray holds 20 pieces of 1 ounce each, this is worth over 2,000 US dollars now, which is kind of crazy to think because I spent less than a few hundred on it over a decade ago. Anyways, without further ado, we'll start here with this guy. So this is an Isle of Man silver noble. These were notable because although they're made by a private mint on the Isle of Man called Pobjoy Mint, it's a very high quality minting process. So we have this cameo here with the frosted ship, the Viking longship. We've got the Triskelion at the top. And now, according to Wikipedia, these are legal tender because the Isle of Man is an independent territory or semi-independent territory of the United Kingdom. I don't know how true that is, but I was quite pleased when I got this because it's a beautiful design. Anyways, next up we have the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra, which is made by the Viennese Mint. It's not a bad minting job. It does bother me that they don't put a rated edge on these guys. I don't really like that, and the denomination of 1.5 euros is a bit weird, but it is very beautiful. So you got the organ at the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra on one side, which I really like, and then you've got a series of musical instruments. You've got a harp, French horn, violin, cello, all these other things. Sorry, I'm not a musician, I don't really know, but I do quite like this design a lot. Now, third here is one of my favorites. This is the Chinese panda. It's worth 10 yuan. And now, when these first came out, the gold ones were criticized because they started rusting a little bit, which shouldn't happen with gold. So there's a lot of debate with metal quality. We do have some milky oxidization here. But again, the finishing on this is really just incredible. And they do a new design every year, which I love. On the reverse here, I believe, I forget the name of this building, but I got this Chinese pagoda here. This one's from the year 2010. And again, this side does change as well. And we've got this nice mirrored finish in the negative space, which is really quite pleasing. So fourth, we have another favorite here. This is the silver maple leaf from Canada. And now I will say I am a bit biased, but the Commonwealth mints are the best mints in the world. So Australia, the Royal Mint in the UK, and the Royal Canadian Mint. They do this rated edge. This one has some milky oxidization here, but we got this reverse cameo look here with Elizabeth II, who's no longer the monarch. But they're denominated at $5, which is that's maybe like $4 US. That's a pretty good denomination. And the new versions of these have small rays radiating out from the maple leaf. So that's an extra security feature. And these are just really nice. They're really satisfying, and they're easy to find on the market for a small premium. Here we have the Tokelau. This is minted at a private mint in New Zealand, I believe. I couldn't find too much information on where exactly this was minted, but I believe it's the New Zealand Mint, which is not actually the official New Zealand Mint. They do use the official portrait of the Queen, designed by a guy named Ian Rank Broadley, I believe is his name. You can see his initials beneath her bust there. Now, Tokelau is a dependent territory of New Zealand. However, they do have some ability to mint coins, so at least sponsor the legal tender status of coins. So it is denominated at $5. And it's not a bad design. At the time, this had just came out, and I really wanted to complete my set. So it's not the highest quality minting job, but it's not too bad. So sixth here, we have this African wildlife series. This was the elephant, but there are other animals in this series. We've also got this Chinese Lunar New Year mint mark, control mark there. Now these are from Somalia, and they're denominated as 100 shillings. So technically they are legal tender, but they weren't minted in Somalia. They were minted in Germany. I believe it was Germania Mint that made these. And they're not too bad. We've got these leopards holding up a shield with the Somali star on the reverse. And the finishing is not too bad on these guys. I quite like it. So not a bad addition to your collection if you're looking for something more from the African continent there. This one here is the Russian official legal bullion here. And this one here was made in 2009. These had just came out when I bought this. And I kind of like the design. It's a bit austere. I particularly like this side with the double-headed eagle. And it's got Russia right there in Russian, in Cyrillic. And on the reverse, we have St. George slaying the dragon, which is a theme that appears on other coins. So if you know old British crowns, for instance, you can see St. George there, also slaying the dragon. I don't particularly like their rendition, but it could be better. But it's again kind of just like an austere, simplistic design, so I like it. Next, we have now. I don't think the U.S. Mint. I think the U.S. Mint tends to be very overrated. They don't do a bad job, but they're not as high quality as some of the Commonwealth mints. However, I do really like this Walking Liberty design that was taken from the old, I think it was the half dollars. It came from a time when the U.S. coinage was really just knocking it out of the park. You had peace dollars, you had the St. Gaudens double eagle, and it's really just a fantastic design with Lady Liberty striding forward with her Phrygian cap. On this side, so they've since changed the reverse design on these guys to be a more more like lifelike eagle. I do like this old design. You've got the this crest here, E pluribus unum, in the eagle's mouth, and it's nominated at $1, so relatively low. These were also only 999 pure, as opposed to some of the other ones that are quadruple 9 pure. But it's not a bad piece. It's quite nice. So here, I'm going to start on the right side this time. So this is a Mexican Libertad. This is the modern Libertad. I quite like these. It's kind of, I can't remember the names of these volcanoes, but these volcanoes are quite famous in Mexico. You've got, it looks like Nike here. And this one here has a little bit of tarnishing here, but in general, Mexican silver is very high quality and it's very good for the price. On the reverse, we have these crests of various Mexican states, and you've got the famous eagle eating a snake, which is how, according to legend, that's how Mexico City was situated. So they saw an eagle eating a snake. Now this one is another favorite. This is the old Libertad design. Una onza plata pura, and this one's from 1985. It's got this nice border design on it and a good luster. If you haven't seen the cameos of these guys, by the way, they're really like some of the most spectacular coins you can get. But yeah, anyways, again, you got the eagle eating a snake, and this one also has Independencia y Libertad on the rim, which is something that none of these other coins have a interesting rim on them. So I like that a lot. One of my favorites. It's also noticeably thicker than, say, the US 1 ounce coin. So this one here this was a one-off design for this year for the Britannia. I believe this is also, it's only in 0.925. It's like 0.98 pure silver, which is kind of a shame. I don't know why the UK Royal Mint made that decision, but it's got a nice polish on it. It's not the worst design. I don't really understand why they did this whole Union Jack with Britannia sitting on top of it. It's kind of weird, but hey, you know, designers do have some creative liberties. Again, we got the Ian Rank Broadley Portrait of the Queen on this side, and this one was denominated at £2, which I find a bit weird, but is not the lowest by any means. Like the US one was only denominated at $1, so that's pretty cool. Now, the following year they returned, this is actually a 2020, I got this one much later, but I really wanted this guy because its design is very reminiscent of the old British trade dollars, and this is one of my favorite coins ever. This is just so beautiful in my opinion. And Yeah, they this design is really incredible. You got these wavy pattern in the background, which is a security feature, which I like quite a bit. You also got this, little trident hologram as well. And yeah, it's just great finishing from the UK Royal Mint. It's one of the oldest mints in operation, maybe the oldest. I can't say that right off the top of my head, but just fantastic. Like, look at the hair on the Queen, just really amazing. Next, we have a more unique one. This is Noah's Ark. So, some interesting facts about this one. The Armenians, this is called Mount Ararat, which is actually on the Turkish side of the border today, but Armenians still associate a lot of national pride with it. When the Black Sea Basin flooded, that's sort of where we get the story of Noah's Ark. And you have the ark here, you have a dove holding an olive branch. And yeah, so the story of Noah's Ark has a great cultural connection to the land of Armenia. It's where it's denominated as 500 dram. I don't know off the top of my head what that's worth, but the finishing here is really just quite nice. You got this mirror finish and then this really gorgeous crest and the really nice Armenian writing. Up next, we have three guys from Oz. I won't even do an Aussie accent. This one's got a little bit of tarnishing here, but the koala, its design changes every year. This year was not too bad. I don't really like the koala as an animal. It's kind of overrated in my opinion. But yeah, they got again this nice reverse cameo, I believe, and like just look at the details on the Queen here, like the hair and stuff like that. The Australians really just totally outdid themselves on this guy. So yeah, I highly recommend Royal Canadian and Australian Mint stuff. I think it's the Perth Mint in Australia. I can't recall it correctly exactly, but they really just hit it out of the park. Again, you got the Kookaburra. There's a few other ones. There's a dragon one now from Australia, but the Kookaburra was one of the annual releases that they did, and at the time that I was making this collection, and this is really just fantastic. Again, you got the reverse cameo portrait here, I believe, and yeah, just super nice. Last one from Australia, we got this kangaroo. This year they did it in sort of an Aboriginal art style with this pointillism, and it looks just great. Moving on to our final five here, we've got the silver taku from Fiji. So this one was made by, I believe it's the New Zealand Mint, but again, that's not the official mint. Most actual New Zealand coins are made by the Royal Canadian Mint or UK Royal Mint. But this one here is technically worth $2 in Fiji. And it's a nice design. You got this Hawksbill sea turtle. It does bug me because you have this weak strike in the center here. The swirls on their shell is not very well defined, but yeah, it's cool. I don't mind it. It's got a little bit of tarnishing here, but in general, it's a very high quality piece. That's probably just me touching it, to be quite honest. But normally these do exist in these are in capsules. I am not handling these. I just took them out for to show you guys. So here we've got a Krugerrand. Now, I hate the Krugerrand design. I think it's simplistic, kind of boring. You got Paul Kruger on one side and South Africa and Afrikaans and English on the other. Legend there, and it says, 1 ounce fine silver. These are only interesting because when the gold Krugerrand came out, South Africa was still under apartheid, and handling them was like basically scandalous. I believe there was a mayor of Detroit who actually went to prison for selling Krugerrands in the United States because there was a large sanction. There were large sanctions against South Africa at the time. So not my favorite, but they've since started making them in silver, and I find it's necessary to complete the collection because this is a real classic bullion coin. Down to our last two here, we got one that I really like. This is the Kazakhstan Silver Irbis, which is the snow leopard. You've got this really nice coat of arms. It's sort of reminiscent of an ex-Soviet state on this side. And you've got the snow leopard on the other here, which not the highest quality minting job. Again, like it's a little dull, but the leopard is nicely rendered here. Last but not least, I have this Republic of Korea 1 ounce piece. It's a Chiwu Cheon Wang. I might be mispronouncing that, but my understanding is he was a sort of a semi-mythical historical liberator, founder character in Korean history. And yeah, it's the Korean Mint does do a very good job. Again, they don't do to a plain rim, but they got some extra security features. So you've got AG in this little hologram here, and you've got this gorgeous sort of like a monster design here. So, oh, and the mint itself is called Comsco, but it is an official, Korean statement. Anyways, guys, that's really all I got. There have been some other issues that have come out since I stopped making this collection. However, I do have, some other assorted answers around. These were from Wildlife series that Canada did. If you have, say, Ukraine, Malta, any interesting countries, leave a comment and we can get in touch and I'll trade you one for these ounces. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys then.